General Motors is going electric, and Netflix is joining in.
All right. Hello, my party rockers in the house tonight. I am Apple. I am our host, one of the hosts for NAMT23, and I'm here joined by Dynascape.
Hello, everyone, and Sunapple. It is Party Rock is. We're here to have some fun and show you guys the North American Mania Tournament qualifier map pool for you guys today.
Yeah, I'm really excited to be able to really show this pool here. We've been working quite hard over the past few months, just in general, to get everything set up, and especially doing things in the past week, trying to get everything finalized, getting the maps done, and I'm really excited to be able to show everybody here the maps that you're gonna be playing for qualifiers, and they're actually insane. So if you're scared that you're not gonna do well, I think maybe be a bit scared. Maybe continue to be scared.
Totally agree. You guys should be scared for what we have in store for you guys. But without further ado, let's get on ahead into stage 1.
Yep. And it is going to be Playing God, an SV map by Orca.
Yeah, this is going to be categorized as the rice accuracy map of the qualifier pool. And if you guys do know Polyphia, this is like a progressive rock, math rock kind of band. So there is just intrinsically more complex rhythms. So that really does lend itself to trying to get good accuracy on these kind of weird patterns that'll show up throughout the map.
Also, don't worry, I was joking. This is definitely, as Dinah did say, this is Rice Act, and this map is actually quite difficult to act. This first half is decently easy, and I think most people are gonna definitely find quite a few 200s on these earlier flams, and I think that's to be expected. It's gonna be very similar to Sprite last year, to where I think some people are going to be focusing more on getting FCs rather than having really good acts, since this map is also on OD9, so it is decently difficult to get really high act on. So I think that's something that people are going to be definitely have to be cautious about, especially since the later half of the map is actually quite a bit difficult, and we'll see that come into play soon.
Yeah, especially a couple of the streams at the end of the map are pretty hard, very chokeable, especially when you do have a good run and the nerves are kicking in. We don't have the stats for you guys on the bottom right as per usual with qualifiers, just because a lot of these aren't uploaded yet. So this one is 3 minutes and 2 seconds long at a BPM of 137. I do like what you said, where it's reminiscent of Sprite. That was definitely the map I was thinking of to compare it to last time NAMT was hosted.
Yeah, and here we just continue to see basically the same section, or same patterns as earlier, and we'll see that until right about now, to where the song gets a bit more intense and we see a bit more physicality coming out. It's not too bad compared to the rest of the pool. We see some of these more truly patterns come through, and there's a bunch of those towards the end of the map, and I think at some point our replayer here messes up a bit and gets quite a few grades just because of one of the trills, which is definitely possible for a lot of the players.
Yeah, we're ending now. We have, as you said, a couple more trills, and I think one last speed section as well coming in.
Yep. I believe there's also a little mini jack section that's decent, or not mini jack. There's a long jack section that can be hard to get really good act on, but I think if you're confident on these kinds of maps, you should be fine. This is definitely going to be one of the easier maps in terms of physicality, so just be aware of that.
Yeah, if I have to say this is probably the easiest map. You know, obviously with it being the accuracy pick. So good luck and try to minimize those 200s. Go ahead on to the next stage.
Yep, and here I believe Dino, what is this map? Do you remember?
Yeah.
I
So
think this
so
is a hybrid, but I want to make
yes.
sure.
Yeah, this is the hybrid pick. This is the easier hybrid pick. By the way, there are 2 hybrids in this qualifier map pool. There are 7 maps for you guys to play with, this being stage 2. And with this being the easier pick, I think this is definitely one where you guys, again, should be minimizing 200s, trying to get that FC in. But it is pretty jack-based when it comes to the Rice difficulty. A couple of streams here and there, but regardless, a lot of the focus is on the jacks, as well as the LNs sometimes having some staggers.
Yeah, I believe this is the more Rice-focused, I think this is more Rice-focused hybrid. It's not, I mean, both the hybrids that we have aren't really necessarily focused on one type of map, but I think this map's Rice patterns are just a bit slightly more biased. So those Rice players will have a chance to shine on this one. I found myself really kind of, I enjoyed this map a lot. It was definitely a step up from stage 1, and it is still definitely really hard to get good act on if you're not very comfortable with these kinds of patterns and or LNs in general, which I know quite a few of the players in this tournament, since it could be the first tournament, may not have too much LN experience or just tournament map experience in general. And a lot of these maps in this pool are very similar to a lot of other tournament maps.
Yeah, very much agree with that. And I do like the fact that you pointed out that a lot of the difficulty in this map pretty much does come from the Rice portions. Some of the LN can be negligible, but I mean, honestly, it is pretty easy to drop 200s, especially as you said, if you are a weaker player when it comes to the noodles. Definitely something to focus on as well. But with the map finishing off, you do have some streams and jacks included. You can see here mixed together into a little ki, so make sure not to choke that part.
Yeah, I especially think that last stream is very like stressful just because of how at the end of the map you may be on an FC and it's just like all coming at you at once really quickly. So yeah, that's our stage 2. Now moving on to our third stage. Another Rice, or no, this is LN actually. LN release, I believe.
Yeah, this is a choose qualifier. This is going to be kind of the release. I guess you could also say it's like a wildcard coordination as well. There are a lot of elements I feel that are thrown at you, but in general, there's a lot of release that is going on.
Yeah, I like how you describe it as a wild card, since I definitely agree. We will see quite a few mini jacks in this map later on, which can be very difficult to, I guess, play consistently. I know for me, I had a hard time getting a FC on this just because of those mini jacks alone. Most likely because I'm not as strong of a player in terms of like mini jacks with LNs around them. Whereas these releases are a bit easier than what we'll see in other maps. But it is so dense that it is very easy just to, I guess, release it either early or release it just on accident.
Yeah, you make a good point. This map in general is just really dense. You are holding down a lot of the notes, or a lot of the columns a lot of the time. And one thing to also note is that this map is 3 minutes and 56 seconds long. So you're kind of in for a ride when you do get to play this map.
Yeah, I think this was one of our longer maps, besides I think Rice 6 or 7. But we'll see that later. Another thing that I want to add to this map is that those trails that you saw earlier, to where you had like 2 notes being held while also having to trill with the other fingers on each hand, are actually very difficult to get really well. I found myself kind of struggling to play them too well. I would find a lot of 200s, either releasing too early, accidentally releasing a note, and just all these different things that really come into play while playing it.
Yeah, and I think that is really the signifier that it is the release map, I guess, because you know the main point of this one is I don't think it's too hard. Definitely the easier LN of the qualifiers. There are 2 LN maps. I do think the other one is harder, but again, these earlier maps in the stages just really is about minimizing the 200s as much as you can. Because I do think if you do aspire to be a top seed, FCs are needed, but not only that, to get an SS on maps like these would definitely provide a huge boon to your placement.
Yeah, I think only if a handful of people are actually going to be able to SS all these maps. So if you are able to SS, just understand that you're most likely going to be one of the higher seeds in terms of your skill set. And now we will be going into the last quarter of the map. This is, as Dinah did say at the start, this is quite long, and so it is quite brutal to just play in general. Though it being long really gives you just the opportunity to take a miss if you have to, since misses aren't going to count as much, since there's just so many notes in the map.
Yeah, finishing off here, and really is kind of the same as what you've seen throughout. Not much has changed. There are a couple of rice notes added in just to give that extra kick of physicality and to make sure that you are awake while playing this map. But I mean, I think that there's not much else to say.
Nope, I don't think so either. We're going to go into the last 8th. Basically the same thing. I do want to add that every player will be having 2 attempts on these maps, so don't worry too much if you accidentally mess up one section and you feel like you can do better. You have a second chance, so take that second chance and play it.
Definitely always use the resources given to you, but that is going to do it for stage 3. That was choose map of oneself, 4 minutes long, LN Gauntlet.
Yep, and now I believe we're going more into the rice category for stage 4. Or actually, no, stage 4 is another LN map. Sorry about that, I lied.
Yes.
This is Density LN, and this map is very physical in my opinion, and we'll see that very soon.
100%. This is 2 minutes and 28 seconds long at a BPM of 220, and with this being the density pick, you can kind of imagine what that lends itself into. Very physical, and especially when a lot of the LN notes are just held down for a fourth of the beat, it gets really speedy.
Yeah, throughout my play testing on this, I found myself really, I guess, struggling just because of how fast this was. Let me check the BPM exactly. It's like, actually, I did not expect, this map is 220 BPM, so it's basically 220 streams just with some LNs, so be aware, this does take some physicality as well as reading, because you do have to continue holding these longer LNs while also like kind of playing the streams.
Yeah, I do agree with that, and I think in the speedier sections, the LNs do get like shorter in length, but there are switch ups where I feel like you are holding them for quite a bit longer. So I don't know, it's just the transitions between having to deal with the schlongs with the longs, right?
Yes, definitely. And here, I think this ending section definitely ramps up the difficulty quite a bit. This is my replay, and I played this at like a mid-level warm-up, and I was struggling so hard to keep up with the just speed of all this of all the schlongs here.
Last section, and honestly, I feel like a lot of players, especially within the mid seeds and the lower seeds that do qualify, should be pretty gassed out by now. I mean, you've been streaming 220 for quite a while, and it's just relentless in its difficulty.
Yeah, and I think added on to that, this map, coming to a close, it does not stop, and nerves can become a problem at this point. I was kind of nervous. I was like kind of on my toes, trying my best to continue this FC, which I do like keep it out. But I think if this was like a lobby match, I definitely would have missed. And I think that's going to be what happens to quite a few players, just kind of randomly, just because of how dense this map can be. Maybe one mystery can cause quite a bit of problems. It's very, very similar to Schmerg last NAMT. If you have played that, a bit harder though.
That is gonna do it for Saigo no Odori. That was how to play a lens part of the pool. We can go ahead and get on to stage 5. Yeah, this is Glorious by Mint, played by Mint. And oh boy, this is the harder hybrid of the pool. Good luck to all of you. Isn't a joy just to see this map for the first time.
Yeah, this is also a Osu custom song. It was used in 7K MWC. Thank you to the artist of that, and also Mash for streaming this, because he's a 7K player and he's the one that found the BG, I believe. So more onto the map itself. Me and Mint were actually talking before stream and while she was making this about how I think this map is going to be the hardest map in the pool. Most likely be seeing the lowest scores just on this map alone, since it's quite difficult to consistently hold the combo on, and it's decently technical in my opinion.
Yeah, I think that is just, with all mid maps, level of technicality is to be expected, but really this is the harder hybrid, and I feel like a lot of players, as you said, this might be the first tournament for a lot of players. They aren't really used to hybrids, like pure tournament style hybrids, and it's just like, if you aren't good at LN, I am so sorry that you have to play through this. But it is just really speedy. Also in general, it's 2 minutes and 31 seconds. BPM ranges from 128 to 180. Most of it is at 155. And look at this slowdown here.
Yep. And I feel like you would think that this would be easier, but it really isn't. Just because there's so many bursts right here that you really need to keep on your toes just throughout the entire match or map, being sure that you're consistent with these patterns.
I feel like it'll catch a lot of people off guard, that slowdown. But the Ki is at 180 BPM, and as you've seen throughout this map, there are a lot of jacks. So it really does get crazy physical in this last fourth you guys are about to see here.
Yep, and this is definitely quite a bit more LN focused than the other hybrid. As you have been seeing quite a bit of LNs just throughout, and here, as Dino was saying, a bit more Jacky section. So some of you Jack players may be happy about that, though we do go right back into all these different LN bursts.
Yeah, these LNs really aren't negligible. You do have to be on your toes for everything. It is very fast, and ends off with a couple more crazy patterns. Those jacks are the death of a lot of runs. Hopefully you guys can figure that one out. I sure can't, but that is going to do it for stage 5. That was Glorious Mint's map, the harder hybrid.
Yep, and now it's time for the rise, the moment that everyone's been waiting for. Stage 6 is going to be Seimitsu's map, Bukuwashi by Katagiri. This is at a 1.1, I believe. We had to speed it up just slightly. It is 230 BPM stream, so be aware, this is very, very physical.
Yeah, good luck with the jump stream pick. 231 BPM, as you said, and also it goes on for 3 minutes and 19 seconds. So stamina is a key element, especially when there are a lot of like one-hand trills in the jump stream that you guys will find later on.
Yeah, there are 2 breaks in this map, so you will find those hopefully like nice to have. Though these jump stream sections are so long, we see a lot of different trills just throughout the entirety of the map. It's very just stamina draining, and I found myself really struggling to keep a combo sometimes. It's a gauntlet, I guess.
100%. There is, not much to be said. As with jump stream picks are, it's very constant in its difficulty. Nothing crazy thrown at you guys, but I mean, to keep up at this rate, 231 for a qualifier, very hard. much harder than I had expected the qualifiers to be, but here we are. You guys are gonna have to deal with this and try to get as high of a score as possible, possibly try to keep combo for as long as possible as well, because I do feel like this is really teetering on the edge of, you know, what separates a mid seed from a high seed in terms of physicality and stamina.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Keeping combo, especially for some of the lower seeds, is going to be really, really important. Just because if you are at that 400 combo cap, you gain so much more points than somebody who does miss. I know personally, since it is definitely a thing that I struggle with myself. I find myself really, whenever I miss combo, I lose so much score. So I think we'll be seeing quite a big difference in some of the lower seeds scores. Just because of this, or just because maybe they don't hold combo for long enough. And also, I think you gotta think about how you have played 5 maps previous to this, so stamina can be drained out. If you aren't too warmed, maybe your site rate, or maybe you like just woke up for some reason and you just didn't want to reschedule, stamina can become an issue, just because of how many maps you have played.
Definitely. I mean, going from how to play LN's Density LN to Mint's hard hybrid pick into this really is quite a journey of maps. And as we close out, just a small little break, a small piece of respite after you've gone through so much, just to end off with this final section. So make sure you are dialed in for this last about 45 seconds of jump stream.
Yes, you still do have to keep focused just throughout the entire map, continue these stream patterns, which really just don't end, and I feel like it feels a lot harder just playing this ending rather than the beginning. Even though I think they're about the same like map.
Yeah, pretty much. That is going to finish off stage 6. There is but one more map in the qualifier pool. You can go ahead and get on to that map. It is stage 7, first death. This is another mid map, so she is the only person with 2 maps in the qualifier pool, and it is very, very hard as well.
Yes, this was the other map that Mint and I were talking about, how I believe, she believes that this is going to be the lowest scoring map just because of how speed is in general, since this is the speedier map. A bit of speed and tech mixed into all of this. I think personally people are going to be doing a bit better on this since it's a slight bit more manipulable, though I think really we'll be seeing insane scores from the top seeds and a bit lower average on lower seeds.
Pretty much. It really is hard to tell what will be the harder map, stage 5 or stage 7. But thankfully this one is only a minute 27 long, and it is full rice. So hopefully you Rice and yours can, you know, really find your stride in this map. But as you said, it's speedy, it's techy, it's a lot of things mixed in. And at 164 BPM, those jacks are quite difficult, and I think some of the speedier parts are snapped to 8th, so that makes it, 328 BPM streams for a little bit? So very, very hard to deal with.
Yeah, something like that. Though this map is very, very short, so misses will matter quite a bit. Just be aware, especially just how speed is in general, to where if you do miss once, you most likely will be missing quite a few more times.
But that is going to finish off and round off the qualifiers for this year's edition of the North American Mania Tournament. We hope you guys did enjoy having a peeksies at this map pool as much as we had fun making it for you guys. But it's going to close off for now. Sunapple, any announcements for the players for this upcoming weekend?
First thing that I do want to announce is that schedules will be coming out very, very soon. We'll add it to the main sheet as soon as possible. And just be sure to send your schedules in the reschedule chat, I believe we're going to use. If that changes, we'll send an announcement. We will be sending an announcement on how to schedule your qualifier lobby soon. But for me, I think that should be it. good luck to all the players. Have fun practicing this map pool.
Yeah, good luck, and we'll see you next week.
Goodbye. Good luck.